I'm going to show you how to get started on your op-amp project. This is in Unit 2 of your 2419 Intermediate CAD class.
And here I get a little box that lists all the layers.
The first thing that I'm going to do is the first part of this project.
It kind of freezes all the other layers.
This is the project. You can pull this up in Blackboard and follow along with me. The op-amp, just a general overview of the schematic here. What an op-amp is. These are a couple of examples of a real op-amp. The first step of what we're going to do is define the attributed blocks. So that's what I'm going to be doing in this video. So you can just follow along the steps with me. It says to begin the first drawing, open up op-amp symbols from the Unit 2 folder in the shared directory. So if you haven't copied what you need out of the shared directory, you can go straight to the shared directory.
You've done your walls, now you're inserting doors, and you accidentally forgot to put yourself on the doors layer first.
Out of the shared directory.
See if you have any doors accidentally drawn on the walls layer.
So I'll come here to
when you get ready to leave
Unit 2.
This, if you just say close,
symbols.
As long as this box right here is checked, and I say
the
close,
file. It's got all the
it'll
symbols
restore
that we need.
what they
Notice
look like
that
when I
these
exit.
red
I'll start that command again and show you what happens.
Little points here are on a locked layer,
so
they'll tell me I can snap to
close,
them for the base point, but
I get a little error saying,
be a part
or a
of
little warning saying
selection.
Some of the layer states
you
might
also want to make
change.
sure that you're not selecting the blue text.
And I'm just showing you
the name of the
when that box is unchecked and you close it. Now it actually isolates the walls
snaps and make sure that
look
my
at the layers, it turned the other ones off. To turn them back
that's
on,
what these little guys are.
Even though this is isolated, unisolate will not work for you. You need to pull this down.
All right,
and go
now
right
that I've got this open,
all layers
if you had to open it from the shared directory, be sure and save as and put it into your user folder. Step 1, it says define the attributes. So for each symbol in the drawing, define the attributes shown in the table. Let me pull this back over for you.
Okay, so I'm going to show you how to set up each viewport to only show the layers that you want to see within that viewport. You've already created your own layer states, and you can find layer states on that Home tab. When you pull this down, these are the layer states that we've created. We're going to use these layer states, but a glitch in 2012 is that when I'm in a viewport, I cannot select the layer state from this list. And let me show you what happens if I do. So I'm going to come into this viewport, which is supposed to be my first floor. If I select first floor here, looks good. But when I come to this viewport, which is supposed to be my second floor, they both change. For some reason, and it's just a glitch in AutoCAD, for some reason, when I change the layer states by using this pull-down list, it affects it everywhere. So I'm going to undo, get it back to where it was before, and this time I'm going to show you how you can make it work. In order to do it, you cannot choose from this list. You'll have to go to Manage Layer States. While you're in this Layer States Manager, you'll select First Floor, and then you'll say Restore. So I show my first floor here. That looks good. I'll come over here, go back to my Layer States Manager. I'll say second floor, restore. And what that allows it to do is show the layer state that I need without affecting all of the other viewports. So again, you cannot choose this list. I understand why you want to. I want to. It's natural to want to choose it from this list, but this list is messed up when you're in your viewports. You have to be able to get it to work. You have to go to Manage Layer States, select it from this list, and say Restore. And that's the only way that you're going to be able to get your layer state to show in that viewport without affecting other viewports.
+2126. It doesn't matter if the U is capital or not.
Now
Everything else
I'm
going to leave at the default. I'll check this box and it allows me to align that new attribute right below the previous one. So what's nice about doing that is they're perfectly in line with each other.
Begin by setting the UCS follow to system variable 1.
I'm going to do this once
with the system variable UCS follow turned on, which is 1, and I'll do it again with it turned off, so you can see what happens if you forget this important step. So I'll start off, type in UCS follow, UCS
C1, for example.
By default, it's turned to 0.
It's a little tricky because it's so tiny, but we have 2 lines of text to put here. So I'll put
now
this
I'm going to go to the
right
View
here.
tab, and I'm going to create a 3-point UCS. What this is going to do is it's going to allow me to reorient
and
my
it says
new
to leave
origin,
the default blank
X
on this part,
direction,
so
and
we'll
Y
just do
direction,
that,
and my screen will rotate with it. I'm going to snap to this corner here for my new
Repeat
origin.
that step. Next we'll
now
do
it's asking me to give
skip
me
over the dot. The dot
X
doesn't need any
direction.
attributes,
So
but we're going to do the NPN.
Now my new positive Y direction, I'll snap right here.
Oops,
and notice my
NPN
whole screen changed, and now what was the east elevation is now pointing straight up. I'm going to undo that real quick, and I'm going to do it again with the UCS follow turned off.
Reference designation.
Just so you can see what will happen.
Q1, for example, it'll be Q1, Q2.
So here's a 3-point UCS, origin, positive X,
and
positive
this
Y.
is the NPN
If I don't
here.
have my UCS follow on, my UCS did change. You can see where the positive X and positive Y are now, but my east elevation didn't flip. The screen didn't flip to show me the east elevation straight up. So I'm going to undo that again, and I'll do it the right way this time. So UCS follow.
Actually, could have just done this one and copied it over. They're exactly the same.
3-point UCS.
The last one that we have here is the
origin,
pin.
Positive X, positive Y, and this is my east elevation. Now I've just created a new UCS. What I need to do now is give that UCS a name, because I'm going to be creating several UCSs here.
I'm actually going to put the text on this side, so this is going to go on the
I'll call this
here
East UCS and say OK. Now what I need to do, and what we're ultimately going for, is a named
pin
view.
name. Now the only thing that's going to be different about this is I'm going to check where this has multiple lines. So instead of me typing one line of text, this will give me the option to do multiple lines like a text box.
Button.
I'll say OK to that.
Say new. There's a few things that you have to do here.
Put
my view name, I'll call this.
I don't know why it came right there, but we'll just move it over.
East elevation.
So I've got all of
view
my
category.
attributes done for this.
If you don't want
Step
to,
2 is to define the blocks. So I'm just going to come through here and make all of these blocks.
Make a category called
I'm going to
elevation.
create a block.
You don't have to do this though.
First one
the next
I'll
step
make
that you have to do is the boundary. I'm going to click this little button right here to define a new boundary. What this boundary is going to do is it's going to allow AutoCAD to zoom in. When I set this view current,
the geometry, do not select that blue.
Right now, this black area that you see is what AutoCAD's going to zoom into.
That way it goes away when I'm done.
I want it to zoom just into that east elevation. So I click that little area.
Capacitor.
Press enter. And uncheck this. This is very important. Uncheck Save Layer Snapshot with View. What that does for you is, if it's checked, whatever layers you happen to have on or off right now are going to be on or off whenever you set this view current, and you don't want that to happen. So uncheck that. That's really fancy stuff. It's great when you're a little more advanced and you can incorporate
all of his
layer states with named views. The rest of this we don't have to worry about. So really all you have to do, give it a name, define a window, uncheck that box.
Be sure to select
you can see that new East UCS that I created is what it's going to be using. And I will just say OK. And OK, and I've completed that one step. I'm going to repeat this same process
NPN transistor
several times. So a new 3-point UCS. Now my north is facing straight up. I'm going to give it a name.
I'm going to do something a little bit different on this one. These need to be dynamic. So I'm going to open in the block editor. And I'm going to add the dynamic flip. So you guys have probably already done an exercise called buzzer. This is going to be exactly like the buzzer. I just want to flip along this line right here. So I'm going to make sure that the parameters tab is selected. I'm going to add a flip parameter. Specify the base point. I'll do shift right click, mid between 2 points.
Don't have to do that.
And then do you see how it's got kind of a dashed line? This is just defining the mirror line that it's going to flip over. So just make sure it's perfectly vertical. So I'm just going to snap to this point to make sure it's perfectly vertical. And this part doesn't matter. It's just where, just click wherever to label, to put that label down. So I've got the flip parameter. Now I need to do the flip action. So click on the action tab, flip,
rename this one,
select the object, or I'm sorry, flip, select the parameter,
UCS,
and then select the objects. even if you selected the text right here, that would not flip with the block, so it doesn't matter if you select the text or not. And that's it. It's done. It doesn't have the exclamation mark, so close the block editor. Save changes. I'm going to create a new block.
Enter.
And this one is going to be my
PNP. Sure it's
PNP.
west UCS. Okay. Okay. I'll repeat this one more time. 3-point UCS. I could have done this when I started, and instead of creating a south elevation, I could have just had it use world
and
elevation,
I'm going to add the same
or world
flip action
UCS
to it. So go to parameters
which is
first.
the default UCS.
We'll do the flip parameter mid between 2 points. Go to actions,
UCS.
flip action, select the parameter,
Views,
select the objects, close and save. So I've got all of my blocks made. What you might want to do right now is just check yourself by inserting all of the blocks. So capacitor,
enter.
It wants me to fill it out.
Uncheck that. Okay. And I'm actually going to create one more named view just for my floor plan, so I can zoom into that.
That looks good.
Named view.
Block, it's got the annotation, the attribute
Floor
next
plan.
to it. My dot, it's just a little dot.
Define a window.
NPN.
I didn't have to do a new UCS. It's already using that south UCS. Uncheck
Should have a flip.
snapshot. Okay. And okay.
And the reason that we didn't
I've
want it to
completed
lock
this
position
project.
is because when I
There's
do
one more step
flip
that I have to
it,
do, and I'm going to
I
show
want
you
to
what
be able
happens
to
if I
move
don't
that
do it.
attribute out of the way.
At the beginning of this project, we turned our UCS follow on so that our screen could
Pin.
rotate when we created a new UCS. If I forget to turn it off
and then
at
you
the
can see
end,
here
when I try to set
can
my
add
east
multiple
elevation current, it's going to kind of zoom into that east elevation, the boundary that I
lines of
set, and it's
text.
going to pop back out. I don't know if you saw it happen that
So you
fast,
can
but
see
now I've got
that.
east
I can
elevation, but
move
it
this
didn't
text
zoom
out of the
into
way
that
if I need
boundary. If I set my UCS follow back to 0,
You might
so
want to
turn
even
it
put a
off when I've
flip onto
completed
this block, because these actually going to be
Now
used on
north
both sides
elevation,
of the
it
drawing.
zooms into that boundary that I had set.
PNP,
Floor plan, east elevation, south,
test out your flip.
west.
Looks good.
you
And
can see
last
I've
but not
completed
least,
this
little
project.
resistor. And OK.
One thing that
You can see
might
how that
think that you
backslash
can
U
do,
plus
a lot of
sign
students will try to do
2126
this. They
changed
try
into
to
the
make
ohm
all the
symbol here.
3-point UCSs.
So now that you've
give
checked
them all
yourself,
names,
that's
and
it.
then
Go ahead and
create
save
all
this
the
drawing.
named views, kind of in an assembly
done
line order.
With
And
step
that
1.
really
Now
doesn't
we're going to
work.
actually
For
go
some
draw
reason,
the op amp itself.